YouTube, as promised, we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of stuff that I haven't opened. So I know this is a long overdue video. I've been sitting on these for maybe a month. I know they've been out maybe 2 months now, but I wasn't able to get my hands on them right away. So I kind of put them on the back burner. Two of them I picked up at the Las Vegas Toy Con, and then one, fortunately, I was able to buy in store. Now, as you know, these are Walgreens exclusives, and as you can see here, Walgreens was having a sale, so I was able to get one at $9.99 and the other at retail or just above retail. But as far as that sale is concerned, it is still going on till the 14th of April. So today is, man, I have no clue. I want to say it is, wow, April 9th. Wow. I think I'm just way off. With everything that's going on right now, it's kind of hard to remember what damn day it is. Everything's going by either really fast or really slow. It just depends on what you're doing that day. But here we have the Stepford Cuckoos. And yeah, they were created by Grant Morrison. Their first appearance would have been New X-Men 118 in 2001. Yeah, originally one of the sisters was supposed to be named Irma, but her name was never used or said out loud during Grant Morrison's run. So when Chuck Austin took over, she ended up being named Mindy, or called Mindy. So Mindy and Irma are one and the same. It was a bit of a mistake. Originally, it would have been Sophie, Phoebe, Irma, which is Mindy, Celeste, and Esme, which if you were to go down in a line, it would say Spice as a tribute to the Spice Girls. The name Stepford Cuckoos was a combination of two novels from the Stepford Wives and the Midwich Cuckoos. Um, the Stepford Wives were women who blindly, follows the ideas of an all-American woman, where the Midwich Cuckoos was about a village where all the women became pregnant at the same time, and they all have, children that are identical. They're all blonde babies, and when they get older, they all have these terrifying psychic powers. So put together, you have the Stepford Cuckoos, and the Cuckoo stories in the Cuckoo story. It pretty much starts out with Emma Frost being in a coma, and Dr. Sublime was harvesting her eggs for the Weapons Plus program. So they created thousands of girls, uh, but only five of them were picked out to go to Professor X's school um, to hone their powers, pretty much. And then they became close to Emma Frost, and they pretty much became her proteges. Sophie, one of the characters, ends up dying from taking too much kick. Esme, took a lot of kick, and she became unstable, and pretty much was mentally damaged. She was involved in a relationship with Zorn, and she pretty much called him out when he didn't return her affection. He killed her then by shoving her earrings inside of her brain, which is, wow, pretty bad. But Phoebe is the one who dyed her hair red. Irma, Mindy would be the black hair, and Celeste was always blonde. So that's one way you can differentiate who's who if you don't know. Um, let's go ahead and crack these open. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I know this is going to be a video on these figures where most of you guys seen it, but this is my take on it, and you get a backstory with that. So let's go ahead and pause this, crack them open. All right, so here we have all three unboxed. And I left the blonde heads on. Initially, I wanted to get five of them because they were originally the 5-in-1, 4-in-1, and then 3-in-1. So there was five of them. The blondes would have been uh, Esme, Celeste, and Sophie. So as I was saying, in regards to their storyline, where Esme was killed by Zorn. So if you wanted, you can leave a fourth one with the blonde hair and have her, maybe with Zorn. Like I say, depends on what story you want your shelf to tell. So we know that the black hair would be Irma, which is this one, or Mindy, whichever you like to call her. And the cool thing about these, like, even if we get like bad, face paint, we can pick and choose, which one looks the best and go with that one. And maybe even, if you're a customizer, do something else with the other heads. So I showed you Irma slash Mindy, and this would be Phoebe. And they're all good looking heads. So, you know, it's cool. So initially I wanted to get five, but unfortunately I was only able to get three. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. Here we got one of the girls with two fisted hands, and they do come with interchangeable hands. I don't know why they would have fists. They really don't fight, but still cool. Two open hands here. And then we got one fisted and one open. Now these figures are, small, and I can see them using this buck again. And initially, I kind of thought that they were going to use this for the Gwen Stacy, but it looks retooled and possibly even a little bit bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same, but be it that we don't have that in hand, to me it looks a little bigger. I know some people have used the red hair, the Phoebe. This one here, use that head for a Phoenix or a Jean Grey even. But yeah, these are some cool figures. I mean, the articulation, it's whatever, standard for a teenage buck. The good thing is, these skirts don't really get in the way. So if you need them to do some kicking, some jumping, whatever you need, you're pretty much going to be able to get it out of this figure. And then here is the black hair, which is Irma slash Mindy. All right, so now let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit and then put them together with Emma Frost and the Cyclops. All right, so here they are side by side. They did come with these psychic, little ability. I don't know what you want to call them. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it's okay. It's kind of cool. And then I know a lot of people are saying this is Cerebro, but this is actually Cerebra. And I can't really recall why they started calling it Cerebro instead of Cerebro as we all know it. But I think they developed something very similar to Cerebro and just renamed it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, not bad figures. I do want two more. Not sure if I'm gonna stop here with the Stepford Cuckoos. I mean, in actuality, we could probably get 1,000 of these. I mean, they did have this instance where, they were the 1,000-in-1 at some point, when they were trying to fight. I want to say it was the Phoenix Force, and then most of them died, and then part of the Phoenix Force went into the girls, and then eventually they lost it. I mean, these girls, since their introduction in 2001, have just been all over the map and fighting, whether it's Jean Grey as a Phoenix or fighting against Emma Frost. Joining Emma Frost and Cyclops and working with them. Their stories have just been all over the board, and they're really cool characters. I dig them. They even had the TV show where they talked about these girls in the wow, I can't remember the name of the TV show. I never really watched it, but some people said it was cool. I know that there's 2 seasons. Never saw one episode. Never really cared to watch it, but you know that's just me. Yeah. So please like, subscribe, and as always, take care, especially in these times and in these days. Yeah. Yeah, take care of yourselves. As I've been saying, we're going to continue doing videos here. I have nothing else to do. Up next is probably going to be the Thor, or the Bro Thor Build-A-Figure wave, which I know has been out. But if you guys want my take on some of the figures, that's going to be coming up next. And then we're going to be looking at a bunch of figures that I have that I've never unboxed. So, yeah, take care and don't forget to subscribe.